Good evening, everyone. Nice to see all of you. A lot of familiar names I can see. Nice to interact. Nice to be interacting with you all after this great lockdown. Not been seeing much people around. So yeah. So I will be talking about how I built my farm, and most importantly, what was the necessity and why did I do that. So that is what I'm going to talk about. So my name is Abbas. I'm from Bangalore, and I have been working with birds from almost 15 years now. Commercially into birds from last 8 years, 8 to 10 years. Before that, I was a people just keeping budgies like what everybody started from budgies and pigeons and finches. So that's where I started from. And more about myself. I've always been intrigued with parrots. Parrots have been always the choice of I've been looking for. Uh, Everything is clear? Jenny?
Hear you, Abbas. You can continue.
Okay, okay.
The voice is clear, Abbas, but there is seems to be some noise in the background.
Noise in the background. Huh?
There is no
Okay,
noise, Abbas. Please, nobody interrupt the meeting. If there's any problem, we'll interrupt the meeting.
okay, fine. So I'll continue. So I would like to thank again the Association of Kerala for giving me an opportunity here. It's been a great honor, to host a webinar, and thank you all the members, Jaren, and all of you all. And what I've been seeing, Kerala is like top in educating people in aviculture. As of now, they take steps, and I hope all other states continue doing the same. And I wish them best of luck for future. And yeah, we will get along. We have got limited time. So the name of my farm is Birds of Paradise. So I've kept them from the day I've started keeping. So this is what my farm looks right now. So this is just a small video. So this is when after this is the monsoon time after the rains where all the plants have been growing, and this is how it looks. So this is the back portion of all the cages what we have, where we go for checking the nest boxes. So this is that portion. So we have been growing corn and other creepers and ferns and palms and all those trees. A lot of trees and a lot of plants growing here. So this is just a small video to start with. So where I've reached from where. So I started in 2012 where I decided I wanted to breed birds and start selling them commercially. So that thought came in 2012. So in 2012 I used to breed on my terrace. So this is how it looked like. So wooden cages, not that clean. Lovebirds like who everybody starts with, African lovebirds. So this is all we had, Javas, and this is even the pigeons were there. So this is how I started in 2012, and slowly I built myself up. I started. The most important thing what I had was education. I was always educating myself. One step further, how to go ahead with it. What should be the next step. So that was the key for me coming to the stage. 2012, then every year I used to take photos and I used to keep them as a reminder, like how further I have to go still and from where I have come. So this was 2013 when I used to even keep pigeons. So those days pigeons were up in the market, and new pigeons mutations were there. So it was really amazing to keep pigeons. I kept them also. So yeah, it is not that clean, it is not that spacious, but that's how I started, and I've learned from my mistakes well, and I've come a long way since then. So this was 2013. So this was along with the parrots which I used to keep them, even pigeons. So a lot of pigeons I had, I have the Tumbler and a lot of names I don't remember now, Fantails and Jacobins and Kings and all those pigeons I used to keep them. So in 2014, I started with steel cages. Again, those racks cage where I started from. So I started keeping my first conus here. So I had a sun conus, then I had some yellow sideds, some turquoisines. So this is in 2014. So I removed some of the wooden cages and then I bought this. This was all handmade. So I used to put them up together, put mesh, make doors, and this is how it was in 2014. Then in 2015 this is the first time I came up with the actual cages. So these are 3 by 1.5 by 1.5 cages. These are made by my very good friend Rajkumar. So he's like number one who makes cages for me. And this is where it's all started becoming professional for me. So this is where I got a hang of it. So it has to be kept this way. The tray system came in, and the space came. So these were my cocktails and conure cages. So this was still in my terrace, 2015. So I tried to make them a little more spacious. Now more sunlight coming in, and more ventilation. So slowly I started going towards being a ethical breeder. 2016. So 2016, I shifted to another place which was a little bigger. Still, it was an indoor place, but I had the same cages, and it was a big space. It was in one of the buildings, and it was one of the whole floors where I just wanted to increase birds. So at this stage, I had almost around 70 to 80 these cages, 3 feet cages with me, and I used to keep mostly conus only, and a lot of grass parakeet varieties here. So I was really successful here also. But I felt, like there was a need for more ventilation, better sunlight, natural rains for the birds and all. So that was always there in my mind, because this is the time I started traveling around country, all over India, visiting other farms. And 2016-17, that's when I started realizing, okay, no, this is not it. It has to go to another level. So after visiting 2016-17, we had a Europe trip from ASI. So that's when I got a lot of thoughts that, okay, now we have to go to the next big step of building a farm and, doing it in a really ethical manner and really professional manner. So in 2017, I believe, if I'm not wrong, we had a Europe trip with ASI. I think it was 16 only. 16, right? Yeah, it was 16. We had a month-long trip with ASI, so we visited a lot of farms over there. There was a group of around 30 people, and we visited a lot of farms there. We got a lot of knowledge. We put down a lot of things on paper, and how it has to be done. Keeping the climate in control. How the climate of Europe and climate of India, how we are going to set up. So all those things used to come and used to write it down in paper, and that was a game changer for me. That trip to Europe with ASI was a game changer. Where all my mind was open towards yeah. This was 2017. This was again same place. So we started with even finch breeding, exotic finches. So this was set up for 2018, and then 2019 is where I decided that I want to build farm. So now, what was the reason to build a farm? That was why do I want to build a farm? That was the biggest question in my mind. So number one, it has to be for number one was the commercial aspect. Number two, I wanted birds to have the best life possible. So seeing 20 feet cages given to birds in Europe, and I saw that giving them 3 and 4 feet cages is not, it is injustice to them. So at least giving them an environment where they are really in the best condition all year round. So that's what put me. I need a bigger space. I need open sunlight. I need natural rain coming in. The weather, all the weather should hit the birds. The summer should hit, the winter should hit, the monsoon, everything should touch the bird rather than it just seeing it out of the window. So that is what brought me to the stage of construction. Okay, so this is the land which I decided to build. So it is very close to my place. So the thing is, I wanted to buy my own land, But then again, there was one thought in my mind that, like, let me experiment it first, like, how it is going to happen, because it was still my first farm in my life, so I didn't know how it is going to work out to me. So I thought I will take a place, I rent out a place for say 5-6 years, plan the whole thing up, and then let's see how it works out. So if it works out in my favor, then I'll buy my own land, somewhere out of the city, and build it in the exact way I want. So right now, this place is very close to my house. It is only 15 minutes drive from my house. And so the advantage with this was I can reach every day. So, I don't have to, like, if it is outside the city, I calculate, okay, I might go 2 days a week, or, one day a week. So I didn't wanted that. So I wanted to visit my farm at least 5 days a week, at least. So, I can go sit with my birds, look at them, spend time with them. And, that was my intention. So first thing was I didn't wanted it far away from the city. It had to be close to my place. The second end, it should still be away from other people. So the sound and all should not be disturbing houses close to it. So I found this location close to my place, which is a very big land. And from that, I took a small portion where I'm going to build my farm, and which is not going to disturb anybody around, because all the houses, as you can see in the photo, they are quite far behind, and they're still there. So even after 2 years, that land is still that big. So I was sure that it is not going to disturb anybody. So this is the land which I decided to work on. So then I made a plan. So the plan was made before. So I'll be explaining you in the photographs, like how did I start doing it, like what was stage by stage I did. So the total land I wanted was 5,000 square feet, because I already made my map of how many cages are going to come in, where it is going to come, what. So 5,000 square feet was 100 by 50. That was the rectangle I selected size, and I thought I'll make that is what I'm going to be the border of my farm. So then the day of construction started, I got in a JCB, and step one was dig a hole. So what we wanted to do, so since it is a rented place, and I was planning to stay there for 5 to 6 years, which was already there in the agreement. So minimum will be that much time I'll be spending there. So in that case, so I just wanted to put stuff there which will last only for 5 to 6 years. So I didn't want it to build a wall. The wall would have been really good, but only building the whole wall would turn out to be really expensive. So I decided to put sheets inside that, the metallic sheets, what we get, the blue sheets. So the step one was get a JCB, dig a 4 feet hole. So the main problem what I wanted to take care was rodents and snakes. So all the farms which I visited all over India, they all were suffering with one major problem, that was rodents and snakes. So I didn't want any of those stuff to come inside my farm. So I was very clear that I would spend no expenses, trying to avoid that problem. So first thing what I did was, this is how we dug. This is 4 feet deep. I'm not sure if it is visible 4 feet, but yeah. So this is 2 feet deep. So we thought that any rodent wouldn't dig more than 4 feet, just to come around it. So this is what we dug. This was all around 100 feet by 50 feet, a rectangle. So this is how it was dug. And then, okay, so we wanted a water point also. So we just dug a hole and, put a tarpaulin and put water in it. So instead of getting tanks and all. So this was one of the easier ways we used to store water. Okay, so first step after digging was to put poles inside this. So the height of my aviary was 10 feet from the ground level and 4 feet beneath. So we made poles like these around 22. These are 4 by 4 inches poles. 4 by 4 inches high grade metal poles. Okay, so these poles are totally 10 plus 4 plus 16 feet long. These poles. Okay, so these are dug another 2 feet from this hole and they are put inside. So from the ground level up, it is 10 feet. And from the ground level down, it is 6 feet. So in this way, I get totally 14 feet of the pole. Okay, so like that, we had put poles every 10 feet. So we used almost 22 poles to cover the whole place. So this was the material what we had bought. So I had calculated each and everything. So I will be giving you almost a approximate price of everything later on, like how much it costed me. So then we put all these poles this way. They were put by concrete in the ground. So these are ground from the ground. They are 10 feet high, and there is still space to put the sheet. So this was the second stage. For the first stage was digging the hole. The second stage was putting all the poles inside. So as you see, we had covered the poles from top with one small sheet of metal, so the rainwater doesn't accumulate inside. So a lot of people forget this, so then it start rusting. So this was very important for us to do this. Okay.